Hey, if you like this video, like and subscribe. I do appreciate it.
340 plus miles per hour again for Brittany Force. 340.5, the 11th fastest run. I say that because it's almost comical to think that 340.5 is not a top 10 fastest run of all time in Top Fuel.
That's the era we're in.
It is for that young lady.
I love her energy when she gets out of the car when something like that happens, too, because if you don't think that affects you physically, you're insane. She gets out of there just 10 feet tall. And if you know Brittany, she's not 10 feet tall.
She's half of that. Sean Reed on the right side of the racetrack had a great night last night, Hannah Rickards.
He sure did, and I caught up with his team in the lanes, and they mentioned they're striving to perfect their setup for tomorrow in these warm conditions today. So they're aiming for a 74 or a 75 in this session. And since they ran a 77 in Q1, they're looking to just find that little more and get themselves in a nice position heading into a warm race day tomorrow.
Well, let me tell you, Hannah, if he runs a 74 or 75, then Sean Reed's play NHRA odds are going to shoot through the roof heading into tomorrow. Low ET of the session right now is a 79.3.
I love when Hannah gives us those tidbits when the crew chiefs actually give a number.
Right. See, the deal here, Courtney, is that nobody's quite caught on to the fact that when Hannah asks these questions, she's then telling everybody what they're going to run or try to.
They're like, oh, it's my friend Hannah.
While the car is staging. It's like, Rob Wendland can't hear it right now. And when they go back to watch it, they only watch the run. They don't watch this part of it.
But they don't listen.
Well, they definitely don't listen to me. Sean Reed right, and the fastest woman in Texas on the left. There it is. 383 for Sean Reed with 386 for Brittany Force at 331 miles per hour. Hannah, I think what Rob Wendland meant to say was an 83.
I think so.
I'm going to let him off the hook there. 383 for Sean Reed, 386 for Brittany Force. Tony Schumacher and Josh Hart continuing to pace the way here in this qualifying session. Jasmin Salinas' Valley Services Scrapper Racing Machine. Folks at Pleasant and Ready Mix over there on the right side of the racetrack. Young lady who every time she's brought her race car out this year, Courtney, has been competitive. She's been to multiple semifinal rounds, a final quad. At one point, looked like a dark horse championship contender before funding issues put that car on the shelf for a little bit, but then came back at Indy and made a statement.
Not only was the car on in Fierce, she was on in Fierce. I talked about this yesterday, and I will not talk about it until she overdoes this moment and overshadows it. One of the coolest moments of the U.S. Nationals to me, which is saying a lot, was Jasmin Salinas' interview at the top end after she won first round, saying people think we're out here, you know, doing favors,
Scrubbing tires
for other people, looking right in the soul of the camera. I'm here to win. And she went on, and it was just, we talk about with Alexis, with Jack Beckman, with Bob Tasca, when their car runs well, the mood gets well, your girl is on.
Doug Foley's Cable Enterprises machine on the other side, trying to move up from 14th. Jasmin blows the tires off, and Doug Foley got pretty far, and then
puffed him.
Almost looked like he pitched the belt down there, but it's idling, so something came off the car. I was trying to figure out what it was, though. Nicole Enterprises car. It was 394.2, 258. Let's fire up the next pair.
I
On
love
board.
that Phillips rear view shot.
Tony Schumacher, the winningest driver in Top Fuel history.
What a flex.
It's a pretty strong one.
And the numbers are even more intense than the verbiage to describe it.
American Communications Construction, the team out of Austin, Texas. Well, the team is out of North Carolina, but the sponsor and Tony Schumacher are out of Austin, Texas. Part of the Rick Ware Racing team. That's Troy Fasching on the right and Rob Flynn on the left. I got to tell you, Courtney, when you go to put a Top Fuel team together in, say, August, you don't normally find Rob Flynn, Troy Fasching. You saw Ryan Jenks walking away. He's been part of championship contending teams as a car chief before. Like, that's a strong team they've built for Tony Schumacher over there at Rick Ware Racing. And that's John Schaefer, who steps away from his driver, Ida Zetterstrom, and the Dialite machine here this weekend. Welcome, Dialite, to the NHRA. Ida's got a cylinder out. She's going to take it to the house and go 391 at 312 miles per hour. That's pretty much what Ida Zetterstrom did on a hot Sunday in St. Louis 2 weeks ago. John Schaefer rolled that car up there and said, beat me. And for 3 rounds, nobody could. And then he ran into this guy named Alan Johnson and Doug Coletta in the final round. And, well, that's come back to bite a bunch of people. Let's check in with Joe on the starting line.
The best in the desert off-road series in the house. Dustin Jones hanging out with Ida Zetterstrom. Just got his first Top Fuel experience, baptized by Nitro. What do you think?
Dude, I don't know if I'm crying because of the fuel or crying because that's the wildest thing I've ever seen in under 4 seconds. That was insane.
How'd you get hooked up with Ida? How'd you get out here?
So we share some sponsors and just that love of racing in general. And this is so different from what I do in off-road racing. I race for like 5 to 8 hours at a time. And they pack that same amount of adrenaline, that same craziness into under 4 seconds. And so when she called and was like, hey, we're going to be in Dallas. It's close to where you live. Do you want to come? I said, I ain't missing this for the world.
We appreciate you coming out. Go smell a little more Nitro.
Man, this is wild. If you haven't come out here to NHRA and you're watching this, you have to come out for an event. Watching it is cool. Being here is on another level.
Dustin Jones with us on the starting line. Best in the desert off-road racing.
You know what I love about that, Joe? Courtney just said, and I think it's a worthy comment on air, you cannot fake that level of enthusiasm.
He loved that.
Yes.
And I loved that.
Ida unstrapping from the safety gear. That Dialite machine, if you're building some sort of building, you got a project going on, call the folks at Dialite.
Down here with Ida Zetterstrom. Ida, great showing for you guys last weekend in St. Louis. You come out here in the heat of the day. You went A to B. That's what you did in St. Louis. You think you can keep repeating that tomorrow?
Well, it was obviously a very hot racetrack out here. We're trying to gain data for that hot racetrack. Right now we're qualified 13th. We were qualified 14th in St. Louis. We know right here, right now, you can basically win from any position. That's just how tight the field is. But this weekend it's special for us because we have a new partner on board for Texas, and we rolled out a complete new Dialite schemed car, and we have a lot of Dialite people in the house this weekend, and it's so great. For everybody that doesn't know, I'm an electrician from the beginning. I worked 6 years as an electrician and installing world-leading industrial lighting lights just like Dialite, and it's fantastic to have them being part of us. We're still scrambling to be able to be out there full-time next year and find those partners, and that means that these companies that come on board with us, it just means so incredibly much. So thank you so much for Dialite for being out there with us. We're having so much fun. Let's make tomorrow a long one.
And there is Brittany Force in the Jegs lane, followed by Sean Reed. Right there in the Loopy Tortilla lane.
We have reached the portion of qualifying, Courtney, where we're not going to shuffle the ladder around. So these cars are qualified where they qualified. Brittany Force 6th, Sean Reed especially at 2nd. But, I mean, 370. Like, nobody's running 370 in this weather. And so Brittany Force and Sean Reed right now turn their attention to tomorrow and the tune-up. And I turn your attention back to Reading, Pennsylvania, where Sean Reed, on a warm day, just high 370'd everybody to death until he got to the final round to win his first race.
And you have to mention the consistency of this car. I don't know what we're up to now, but as of yesterday, so apparently if I just do a little bit of addition, it was 21 out of 22 runs.
Correct.
that made the full pull. As you guys have seen in the grandstands today, how difficult it is to get these monsters down the racetrack every single time. That team and that car over on the left lane has done something no one else has done and been more consistent.
And not just easing their way into it, they're the number 2 qualifier. Of course, the car in the right lane, the world speed record holder. Brittany Force, 384, 330 miles per hour. And Sean Reed's car went quiet before the finish line. He goes 402 at 241 miles per hour. So not quite a full pull for Sean Reed, whose car looked like it maybe was spinning the tires out there about half track. Let's watch again. It's a good run for Brittany Force. Watch Sean Reed's car. At this point, he's actually incrementally ahead. He put a cylinder out, and Rob Wendland shut him off is what happened there. Put a cylinder out, and Rob Wendland from the starting line shut him off. These crew chiefs actually have a button on the starting line they can use that will shut the race car off. It'll disconnect the throttle. Looks like that's what happened there. You'll see him start spinning the tires about half track. Cylinders out, right about there. And as he goes through the lights,
wow,
that is an expensive loss of a supercharger for Justin Ashley. There's no fixing that one.
What you're saying about that?
Rapid dissipation of cubic dollars.
Love it.
Sean Langdon earns his 22nd number 1 qualifier. Here's a look at the ladder. He will race Texas's Mitch King in round number 1, while Tony Stewart takes on Clay Milliken, perhaps with his championship hopes on the line here this weekend in Dallas. Antron Brown, the reigning world champion, needs to make a move this weekend and is set up perfectly to do so. He'll race Ida Zetterstrom in round number 1 as Doug Coletta races the Giant Slayer, Jasmin Salinas, in round number 1. There are going to be 14 Jasmin Salinas fans when Top Fuel starts in round 1.
On the other side of the ladder, Sean Reed will pick his lane over Kyle Sattenstein. Steve Torrance, Texas's own, will pick his lane over Josh Hart. Justin Ashley, as you just saw make that exciting run right there, picks his lane over Doug Foley. And Brittany Force, the queen of speed here in Texas, over Tony Schumacher.
Hey, if you like this video, like and subscribe. I do appreciate it.